So, we have Iron Man 3 coming up pretty soon, and, I have yet to actually review the first two Iron Man movies. So, I thought, why not go ahead, sit down, and review for you guys those two Iron Man movies. So, without further ado, here's my review of Iron Man, which should pretty much be on everyone's top 10, 5, whatever list of favorite comic book movies because this is hands down one of the best comic book movies ever, which is a lot coming from me because I'm not really the biggest fan when it comes towards Iron Man. Especially when this movie was first coming out. All I really knew about this character when the movie was coming out way back in 2008 was that he was a Marvel character. And that was about it. I knew nothing else besides that. But because of this movie, I do want to know a lot more about the character of Iron Man, and I know a lot more about the character of Iron Man because of this movie, like the origin and some of the characters that he's surrounded by, and some of his villains. But let's now get into the actual film itself. So maybe some of the characters and some of the actors, which one being Tony Stark, or, played by Robert Downey Jr., who was either A, born to play the role, or B, Tony Stark was created to be played by Robert Downey Jr. Only those two exceptions I'm going to take, because he is Tony Stark. Robert Downey Jr. is Iron Man. He's probably one of the few people in comic book films where I can look at him and you can tell me who he's playing, and I would agree with that, because he is Iron Man. He's basically been playing the role his whole life. Why don't we just legally change his name to Tony Stark? I always joke about that. Like, why don't we? Why doesn't he? I mean, the only thing that's keeping him from literally being Tony Stark is having an Iron Man suit. So, let's just give him an Iron Man suit, legally change his name to Tony Stark, give him a house in Malibu, have someone blow it up, and then he will be Iron Man. That's awesome. But his character in this is really great, and obviously the character that goes through a whole hell of a lot. Because the accident or his origin, the whole, bomb blowing up and shrapnel in the chest, and him having the, arc reactor. He goes from being a cynical, asshole weapons dealer to being a cynical, asshole, but with a heart of gold, and that's kind of the reason why we love him. I mean, he's awesome. And he goes from being, like I said, a cynical asshole, weapons dealer, and because of the whole shrapnel in the chest and him having to get the arc reactor, he becomes a lot more nicer, and he wants to get rid of, weapons and stuff like that. He shuts down his business to get rid of weapons because he sees that, his weapons are hurting those in different countries. And, he kind of does, symbolically and literally grows a heart, the arc reactor, and he becomes more nicer, and they even touch on that in various parts of the movies, like when Pepper, puts the little arc reactor in the glass case and says, proof that Tony Stark has a heart. I actually remember I was watching that with my parents, my mom was just like, oh, that's adorable, and it kind of is. It's very symbolic and very nice and, cute and stuff like that. I really do like that. He's a character that goes through the most in this movie, obviously, because, well, he's our main character, and I really do like that. That's very, very nice, and I overall like this character a lot. And he's played by Robert Downey Jr., so that immediately makes it good. Anything that Robert Downey Jr. plays is amazing. We also have Gwyneth Paltrow as Pepper Potts, Tony Stark's assistant slash love interest. And I say love interest because they don't really end up together by the end of the movie. They pretty much don't even end up kissing in the movie, which is a really nice change of pace, which is something I really like, because this isn't really like the average superhero formula. It's very much different from many other superhero movies. Another thing that I really like about this movie, it isn't like a stupid, dumb little superhero movie that ends up, superhero gets captured, superhero, gets his origin, fights a villain, goes home, happy, the end. It's very much different in a way, and I'll go into more about that, but that was just one of the aspects that, did it up a little bit differently than how most superhero movies do it, because by the end it would be, well, the superhero, gets together with the girl, and that's really about it. They don't even have a kiss in the movie, which is really nice, again, a nice change of pace. They do plant, like, little hints, like, oh, they're gonna get together, and then by the end, you're just like, they didn't even get together. That's really weird, but really impressive, too, and very nice and original. So keep it up, movie. And then they don't. They ruin it in the second movie, so, kind of sucks. I don't think they even got together in the comics, so that's kind of weird. I always liked Tony Stark being, a ladies' man, basically. I don't really like him being attached to one, chick, but I guess that's something different from the movies, making him a little bit more human, I guess, making it a little bit more realistic. I don't know. But, again, going back to the whole, this isn't like a, average comic book movie. Throughout the movie, there's really not even a villain. Really, it's more realistic because the villain is basically Afghanistan and terrorists actually in Afghanistan who are, using Tony Stark's weapons against, other people. And he has to, eventually swoop down in the middle of the movie or middle action scene, and he has to blow up all of these weapons and he has to get rid of all these weapons and stuff. I really, honestly, would have liked the movie to be like that because it made the movie more grounded in realism and really more darker and very much modern. It's very more modern day, him just battling these terrorists instead of, some super evil villain that wants to take over the world, in every other superhero movie. It definitely grounded it in a little bit more realism, and that's, again, another thing I really like about this movie. It's very realistic. I mean, it's not like Iron Man is just a robot that fell from space or something like that. He's just some guy, some smart dude who has a bunch of scrap metal, makes a robot suit and just blasts people away. It is a little bit realistic, and I would have really just liked the movie to have been him going around finding these terrorists and blowing up all these weapons and getting rid of all these weapons and saving people, because it made it more grounded in realism. But instead we have a giant Iron Man by the end of the movie who just wants to kill Tony Stark just to get money, in a way, which I really didn't like that. I really didn't like the Ironmonger in this movie. Not because he's played by Jeff Bridges. I fucking love Jeff Bridges. He's an awesome dude. And I've seen him, Big Lebowski. Go watch him in Big Lebowski. That's awesome. You'll understand why I love Jeff Bridges. He's an awesome actor. But I didn't really like the Ironmonger all that much in this movie because it felt really forced and really kind of cliche that it's like, well, it's a superhero movie, we gotta have a supervillain in it, so let's just throw him in there. He just wants to kill Tony Stark just so he can run the business, or take over the business, which essentially is just to get money, so it's just a big get money scheme, which is stupid. Again, why couldn't we just go back to the whole, him trying to fight terrorists, and save people? That is more realistic. It's more grounded in realism. And it's more modern. I really like that a lot more. But no, we should have him fight a big Iron Man. He's just fighting another Iron Man. And they're just hitting each other constantly. So why would that even, affect each other? Because it's just really, I'm going to hit you, you're going to hit me, and we're just going to end up perfectly fine until one of us takes off our mask and blasts us in the face. I mean, they're just hitting each other constantly. They're wearing metal suits, so it's not going to affect you at all. It's really weird. Really stupid. But there's just a minor nitpick, even though, it's just a minor nitpick. That's why I bitched about it. But, it's just the only real small little problem I had. It could just been Iron Man fighting, Middle Eastern terrorists. And that's so much more what people are hearing about today. And I would have really much liked that. But, no, make way for some generic, stupid, dumb supervillain that we have to have in the movie because, hey, it's a superhero movie. What superhero movie doesn't have a big, dumb, stupid, generic supervillain? So, yeah, I guess so. But, I still really do love this movie. I definitely don't hate it. I love the movie and I saw it. I definitely recommend it to anyone that, has yet to see it. Yeah, you have to see it, then, what's wrong with you? Where have you been? And also, it is the movie that set up the Avengers with, various Easter eggs throughout the film, like Captain America's shield in the background, which ended up being completely pointless. And, just a bunch of other stuff. Like the end credits scene with Nick Fury in it. That was awesome, by the way. And that is another big thanks I have to give this film. It set up the Avengers, pretty much. This set the groundwork for all the other Marvel superheroes to lead into the Avengers, and I really love that. So, that's just a plus in and of itself. So, this movie is all around great, and my final verdict for the film is going to be a 9.5 out of 10. Just for that one little nitpick with the villain. I didn't really like it all that much. I didn't really enjoy it. But it wasn't that big where I hate the film. I still really love it. I I recommend it. I don't know what I'm trying to say. I recommend it. So watch it. It's great. It's amazing. It's awesome. It's great. Go watch it. It's amazing. And that's really about it for me. Comment, whatever you want with this video. Subscribe if you want more of these videos. Hit the like button or whatever. But I'm 123 Movies Rule, and I'll see you soon with my review of Iron Man 2. Spoiler alert! It sucks. So I'm totally not looking forward to that. So see ya.